it's a lot of people making content that is kind of misleading, saying living in Jamaica, move to Jamaica, and the truth is, I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings with this one, but they lying. Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel, and your girl is back with another video today. Yeah y'all, so as you can see from the title down below, your girl is getting into it today. We are talking about how can you legally move to Jamaica, and yeah, we're gonna get straight into the video. I know I've been kind of MIA, but make sure you I don't want to say like, comment, and subscribe, because if you don't feel comfortable with this content, it's up to you. It's if you want to like, it's if you want to subscribe. I'm just here as the messenger with some valid information for some of the people that reached out to me. So yeah, when you're talking about moving to Jamaica legally, there are a few key steps that you must take when it comes to doing this the legal way, and just making sure that you have the right tools to be successful. I'm also aware that whether you're working, you're retiring, or you're planning, you know, to relocate for personal reasons, this information is valid, and I have to determine what type of visa you would like to get, what works out with your situation. First thing you need to do is research the types of visas. First visa is the visitor visa. That's if you're staying a short period of time and you don't plan to migrate and plan on moving and staying long term. You can do the visitor's visa. So the visitor's visa is very, very, very simple. For one, it's a lot of people making content that is kind of misleading, saying living in Jamaica, move to Jamaica, and the truth is, I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings with this one, but they lying. They're not living in Jamaica. They are using their visitor's visa, which is their passport to stay. And like I told y'all before in a couple other videos from like years ago, is that you can live, like you can go and move to Jamaica for a short period of time, 90 days, as a U.S. Citizen. But the key is you cannot stay past those 90 days. If you do want to stay past those 90 days, you have to get an extension. You have to go down to PICA and you have to get an extension. Once you do that, you can stay longer than the 90 days. But in total, over a course of a year, you can only be here for 6 months, which is 180 days. So stop, you know, right here I'm just being honest. Don't let the content that you all are seeing about people moving to Jamaica, it is fraudulent, it is not true. Some people are telling the truth, but a lot of people, you have to understand that Jamaica is a sweet spot for a lot of content creators, especially if they already have a good amount of following. If they go over to Jamaica, it makes their, let's just be honest, Jamaica's the shit. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. Everybody want to be Jamaican. Everybody want to go to Jamaica. I mean, that's the truth. And Jamaica has been a sweet spot for a couple of years, especially within like from like 2021 up until now. It has been a sweet spot for content, especially if you're just passing through. So a lot of people are not really living in Jamaica. They are just saying they're living in Jamaica, but they don't live in Jamaica, and they have to go back home after those 90 days. Or, you know, they may come for a couple weeks and then they film a lot of content and then they make it seem like they live there. That is not the case. I'm talking about, this video is for people who actually want to move here legally and be able to reside here and be here. And visitor's visa is not going to grant you that. That's something that is offered to everyone. So if you are being, you know, not necessarily tricked, because I understand the content situation. I understand the algorithm is popping here. I get it. But you don't want to take misleading information and be like confused with like people actually vacationing here and then going back home versus people who are actually living their day-to-day lives here, because vacationing in Jamaica and living in Jamaica are two different things. And yeah, so visitor's visa is always an option for everybody, but that's not going to give you the opportunity to stay here. Next thing is work visa. A work visa can grant you the opportunity to live here in Jamaica, but first you have to get the job offer. Second, once you get the job offer, the job will then go apply for the visa for you. The tricky thing about the work visa is it has to be a situation where there are no Jamaicans that can fill that position. The work visa, it can be pretty tricky. It's a little bit like, it makes a lot more sense if a Jamaican is doing it to go to America and trying to get a work visa to America versus the other way around. But I've seen it be done, especially if someone has like a small business and they just, you know, maybe family. So if you are seeing people that like migrate back and they are like, they have like, they're of like this, like they're descendants, like Jamaican descendants, then they can also have opportunities to get that work visa. If they have a cousin, an uncle, or a family member that has a business, they can go apply for those work visas for them, so that they can be able to stay long-term in Jamaica. But like I said, depending on what type of work you're doing, they have to show proof that there's no Jamaicans that can fill the position, and sometimes that can be a little bit tricky, but that is another option that you can think of too. Another thing, when it comes to the work visa, the approval process. Usually once you get the work visa approved, it takes about I think it covers you for about 1 to 3 years, and then once the employer submits it on your behalf and everything goes through, you have the opportunity to live here in Jamaica. That's why sometimes when you come here and you see other people from other places, they establish business, and once they establish business, they can bring over their family members or people who they feel can really, you know, do well and thrive in the positions that they have to offer in Jamaica. So yes, that approval process, it does take quite some time, but it does grant you, I think, about 1 to 3 years, but you do have to pay a fee. Those fees you can look for online, but yes, that's one way to make it happen. But one of the biggest misconceptions about moving to Jamaica is that you can get residency automatically. So no, that is not the case. So say if you do get the work visa and you get the approval and you've lived here a good amount of years, then that's when you can move forward to apply for residency. That is a process. You cannot just get that from being here a year or a couple of months. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. It takes some time. You have to show that you had a long-term job, showing that you have had some contributions to Jamaica, and that could be, you know, through you opening up a business or something like that. So that takes time to get residency. It's not something that you get automatically, and I think a lot of people think that is something that is open to everybody. That is not the case. So it takes time, and it's not something that's just offered to everyone. So the next visa that you can consider is if like you're an investor, and that's like an investor visa. Investor visa is like for people that want to come here, establish business, invest properties, and, you know, do things, open up businesses and things like that. That is typically for people who are doing like mainstream businesses, like building property and things like that. So that's not something that's easily to obtain. You have to show proof of all those things, and that is a pretty tricky one to get, but the option is still there. Yeah, with the investor visa, it's just like you have to show proof that you are creating a business that will be able to you know, just be accessible to the local community and people like Jamaicans to be able to get work. And then you have to just be able to show that you started up the business, and it just gives you the opportunity to come back and forth to check on your properties and stuff like that. But like I said, that's a much more tedious one. But I just want to give you all the rundowns of all the different visas so that you can have a better understanding and, you know, not be misled with information or just confused. The next visa, the visa that I talk to a lot of people about who are older and they've retired, to have the retirement visa. So a lot of people don't realize that once you retire from a job anywhere, you can come over to Jamaica and easily establish, like, you know, just like some residency and be able to settle in the country without much hassle. A lot of people don't know that. I always tell people all the time, if you have the proof, you can actually live here and not have to go through all that tedious stuff, because the proof is in the pudding, literally. They have a special program that's for people, I think, over the age of 55, where the program is just like a retirement program visa, and you can get this visa by, like I said, retiring from your job. Honestly, why this is available to people is because you have a pension, you have financial security, and you can provide that information through constant income, which shows the country that, hey, this person has steady income, they have a steady flow of income. You know, you have your constant income coming in, you will never really fall short, so they don't really have to worry about you like coming over being a problem. So that program was initiated for retirees, because you all have consistent income. So if you are 55 and older and you retire, you have options. So when it comes to all of these visas, you just have to go through the application process. You would just need your passport, complete your visa forms, or you have to show proof of financial support. You have to have the police clearance from the US to show like your record, and you also have to show proof of health insurance documentation. Yeah, you apply once you go to the Jamaican embassy once you arrive, and then you can do all that, or you can go on the website, get more information about it. Also, the next thing you have to make sure you secure is health care, like health insurance. That's something that you have to have. It's mandatory. And then while the country has like public and private, you have options there, so you have to make sure you get that healthcare insurance too when you're working on your visa. Also, another thing to be considerate of is that if you continue to live here past, I think it's like 183 days, there's taxes that you have to pay. Yeah, because if you're living in Jamaica, you have to pay tax. But that's cool, because you can it would just be good to go through like a tax advisor to help with all that stuff. But that's if you are trying to do anything past the visitor's visa, you would need to look into that. Another way that you can get citizenship and be able to stay here is if your child is born over here. Of course, you know, they get automatically citizenship, and then if your child's father lives here, they can get citizenship, and then you can get citizenship through your baby. It's pretty, you know, like I said, it's tedious, but the opportunities and options, like the options are there when it comes to that. So sometimes if you're seeing people who move back to Jamaica, and I'm talking about the people that's actually moving back, if they're descendants of, like, if they're Jamaican descendants and their grandfather or their mother or their father or somebody is Jamaican, they can obtain citizenship. So if you see people that have citizenship, or you're like, oh my god, how can they stay there, da, 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 but they didn't do any of the visas, blah 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 blah, more than likely it's due to the opportunity to obtain citizenship, and that could be through their father, their mother, their grandfather, or their grandmother. So that's, if they have any of those, they can get citizenship like that. So the people that you see that are really living here and staying here on a consistent basis, they have citizenship, possibly, or, you know, maybe some other stuff going on that ain't got nothing to do with me. But I'm just talking about the options that you do have. And if you have a child that is, you know, connected to a Jamaican father or mother, you can get citizenship through them as well. Outside of, like, you know, just getting permanent residency, when you have a child that is a Jamaican citizen, that's one way to be able to get, you know, citizenship, is through that child, because then you all will be living together, and that makes you eligible for citizenship. The next thing you can do is marry. You know, through marriage, you have the ability to obtain citizenship as well. So those are like some other ways to obtain citizenship versus, like, you know, just getting visas. So it's two different lanes of just like getting citizenship and then obtaining a visa to be able to stay long term. Those are different things. And permanent residency is only obtained through, like, you know, if you have a family member, or you know, have lived here long term for business purposes. But do not be fooled, everybody does not have permanent residency. And I would just say, if you are doing research, trust me, your research is researching. But because everyone has different situations, you cannot do what the next person does, because you may not have a child that has citizenship. It's just a whole bunch of things. So you have to just take all those things into consideration when you're thinking about moving. I would say first, plan ahead. To seek some legal, like, you know, advice. Look at some information, because you do not want to be on the wrong side of things, because you can get banned. It's so many things. So you want to make sure that you are following the rules to the best of their ability, because they're put there for a reason. So you don't want to go outside of those parameters of the rules. So if you do a visitor's visa, stay within that visitor visa term, and you know the dates. Don't go over. You know what I'm talking about. And if you want the permanent residency, just do your research. And I just made this video just to kind of like simplify it for you, or to kind of answer any questions that you may have had lingering over your head about other people and how they live here. But understand that everybody's situation is different, and you can't compare yourself to that person's situation. But 9 times out of 10 people lying, and they're not living in Jamaica for real. That's just the truth, and nothing's wrong with it, because I mean, content is content. But just do not believe the fluff. Like, is not real. Like, people are not actually moving here. They are just coming here for a short period of time on the visitor's visa, aka a passport, and able to stay for a long period of time. So don't be discouraged. Take this information, do what you can with it. That's pretty much it. This is part 1. If y'all would like me to go more in depth on the part 2, let me know. And I hope this video was helpful. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Your girl is out. Peace. Mwah.